Ladies and gentlemen, there are many people that are starting to believe that the labor shortage is actually worse than the pandemic. So we know it has been a dramatic change in people working in America for 2 consecutive years. So the shortage of workers in the US has become a flywheel of doom, messing up our lives and society. And many of the underlying problems that led to this breakdown are bigger than the pandemic. The bigger picture: millions of immigrants, older workers, and mothers are missing from the labor force. The labor shortages create problems like supply chain woes, school closures, and skyrocketing childcare costs. And those childcare centers all around the country are closing down because they just can't find enough people to care for the children. And some of those problems further exacerbate the worker shortages. US CEO says labor shortages are the top threat to their businesses this year, the survey released by the conference board yesterday. The labor market problems are broadly about the pandemic as the root cause that predicate, everything just breaking down out here. A lot of them are, squarely blaming that. Lost immigrants. There are about 2 million fewer working age immigrants in the US. Well, it's a lot of, and plus, America is ranking down at the bottom in getting this thing under control. I mean, if they're going to get sick, I guess many of them feel it, they'll just get sick in the country they come from rather than come here and get sick. Okay. And plus, they think it's immigration restrictions, according to calculations of census data from two economists at the University of California, Davis. About 1 million are higher educated working age adults. The immigration slowdown began during the Trump administration. The Great Retirement also happened, where it was a spike in retirement rates, flushing with cash from the booming stock market and a fear for the health in a pandemic. Many more older workers left the workforce. Yes. And those older workers are not coming back. They're not coming back. They're going to stay on their retirement. There are 3.3 million more retirees as of November 2021 than in January 2020. According to the estimates from economists from the St. Louis Fed, the numbers exceed pre pandemic demographic expectations. Beleaguered moms. About 1.5 million fewer mothers of school age kids are actively working compared with pre pandemic times, according to an economist. So, this is a principal economist at the Census Bureau, Misty L. Hegnes. A lack of social policy support for parents. And yeah, and I'm sure a lot of parents are feeling that way now that schools and daycare centers are closing. They don't have nowhere to put children, especially small children and infants. All right, so they said this is a key issue during the pandemic and has long depressed the labor force participation rates for women in the U.S. What's next? Economists are hopeful that when it comes, uh, to safer, it becomes safer for people to return to work. Americans will, in fact, go to work. Well, It sure ain't looking so good for what these economists are saying. I mean, look, this is just their opinion. They don't know this for a fact. The most obvious solutions are public health solutions, said Aaron Sojourner, a labor economist at the University of Minnesota, Carlson School of Management. If people are healthy and risk are low, they will be more willing to get back to work. It's a win win situation. But unless there is policy intervention, there will still be a shortage of immigrant workers, which holds back other parts of the economy. We have lost 2 years of immigration, and there is nothing in our system that allows us to catch up. Giovanni Perry, an economist at the University of California, Davis, who calculated that 2 million number with a colleague. Immigrant workers could help alleviate shortages in a range of industries, including childcare. More childcare workers would have downstream effect on working mothers and older women who stepped out of the workplace to help with grandchildren's child care. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Even if America was to bounce back, that ain't going to happen anytime soon. And it certainly won't happen overnight. In fact, when I was looking at some of the articles at the end of 2021, they were talking about the great resignation will go on all the way through 2022. That's what they're anticipating. And they're right about the immigrants. I mean, there are far fewer coming into the country now than when Trump was in office. I mean, he slowed it down a lot. Now you don't have, when was the last time you saw a news and there was a whole caravan, isn't that what they were calling them, of people coming up to that border? You're not seeing that like you used to. So that has dramatically changed, because I know some people are like, well, use the immigrants. You can't really use the immigrants for everything. Certain jobs, yes, but everything, no, no. And if they were the answer, why is it taking 2 years for you to see it? They're not the answer, y'all. Trust me on that one. But please tell me what you think about this story where some people said, the labor shortage is actually worse than the pandemic, in their opinion. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.